Welcome to the Mind Body Podcast. I'm your host, Maria Angelova, and I'm here to challenge everything you have been told about aging and wellness. This podcast is for those who refuse to accept that growing old means growing unhealthy. Each week, I will bring you dynamic conversations with inspirational guests, sharing practical advice, insights, and motivation to live your life rebelliously as you age with grace and vitality. This is your time to embrace self-care, transformation, and an infectious spirit that says no to the conventional and yes to a vibrant, powerful life. Let's dive in and redefine what it means to live well. Hi, Rebels, and welcome to the Mind Body Podcast, your rebellious podcast with me, your host, Maria, where it is all about a strong body, calm mind, healing, and fully living. And today, our special guest is Sarah Downing, who is joining me locally from Atlanta. Sarah is a licensed massage therapist, and she is going to talk to us all about the goodness that massage can do for our body and how there's a lot more to massage than just plop on a table and have somebody do some work for you. So welcome, Sarah. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, thank you. And it's such an honor to be here on your podcast. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you, Rebels, for tuning in and listening.
Absolutely. I do know this is going to be a rebellious conversation. I do know this is going to be a fun conversation because Sarah and I have had several conversations and they have been nothing short of amusing and filled with laughter and a lot of reality to them and practical stuff. So, Sarah, let's dive right in. Who is Sarah? Give us 3 words that describe who you are and a little bit of a backstory behind each word.
So 3 words, that's difficult. I would say courageous, versatile, and kind. And my backstory, how I got into healing, I got sick in my mid-20s. I got chronic fatigue, adrenal fatigue, and hypothyroidism. And initially I dealt with it by seeing conventional medicine practitioners. However, I reached a dead end with them, and I came to realize that holistic medicine was what was really needed. And the way I realized that is that there are some wonderful communities online who practice holistic medicine, and also of patients who have availed themselves of these services. So eventually I actually became a blogger because I do have a background in writing and translation. So I became a blogger, educating thyroid patients about different conditions and also sharing what I was going through. And I also became a patient advocate, advocating for better conditions, because I myself went through some really horrible mistreatment from conventional doctors. I have to say, I am, however, very lucky to have met some amazing holistic and integrative medicine practitioners, and they inspired me to carry on my journey and to actually become a licensed massage therapist in order to strive to help my patients the way that they did.
That's amazing. So, Sarah, take us. If somebody says, you went from all of these conditions, from a thyroid condition, writing about thyroid, you went to massage from all things. Like, where is the path there? Where is the connection?
Where is the connection going from tired to massaging? Well, I guess, I kind of forgot about it, but a lot of my friends, after I became a licensed massage therapist, they reminded me that I always was very touchy-feely and I liked massaging people, and I was actually pretty good at it. And one day somebody suggested, hey, why don't you go to massage school? Because at the time I was working, I had my own business as a freelance translator and writer, translated from German to English and French to English, because that was my original degree. At the time I was living in Germany, where I stayed for 10 years. I realized I needed some balance to what I was doing with translation, which is, it's creative, but it wasn't making full use of my abilities. And so on a whim, I signed up for massage school, and I haven't really looked back, to be honest. It's been such a blessing to be able to help others, but not only that, it's helped me tap into my innate gifts, and it has helped me find my tribe.
Yeah, that is how we connected, through being in like-minded communities.
Indeed.
And I think, Sarah, one of the reasons I wanted to invite you to the podcast, and I'm so glad that you said yes, is we talked about wellness, and we talked about holistic wellness, and we talked about the importance of, yes, you're getting a massage, and yes, it is relaxing, But there is a whole mind-body awareness that we help people create with what you do, with what I do in different ways, that we empower people to tap into the power of their own bodies. We educate people how to tap into the power of their own bodies. And we support people through helping their bodies heal. And thus we support people onto their healing journey of, healing mind, body, and spirit. So let's talk a little bit about that. How is massage? How are you through the massage modalities that you do, and you do quite a few of them? How do you feel that you empower your clients, your patients, to live a fuller lives, more energetic, more vital lives?
So first of all, my background with chronic illness allows me to empathize with them because I have been in that position, and also gives me the distinct desire to empower them, because I was in that position where doctors were yelling at me, they were putting me down, they were being extremely condescending. And I think that what happens is a lot of people, they go to medical practitioners and they give away their power, because they just a lot of people think of healing as, oh, we as healing arts practitioners, we wave a magic wand and boom, they're healed. That is not quite how it works. The way I explain it to people is I am the charger to your battery. So the first thing that happens is they connect with me, and I hold space for them, and I listen to what they've been through in the past. I listen to where they're at now, and I create that connection so that they're already feeling comfortable with me before they're even on the table. The second thing that I want to mention is I pursued a certification as a certified yoga teacher. So that has really given me some useful tools, the tools of meditation, the tools of pranayama, so breathing, and also guided imagery. So I'm able to use these in my practice, and I'm able to teach people to actually do these things outside of the massage room, because it's very important to me that they don't just come to me and that's all they do to heal themselves. We have a responsibility to ourselves to do the work at home. And that means, whether you're doing the stretching, because of course, being a certified yoga teacher, I'm able to recommend stretches for whatever is going on in your body, but also doing the breathing. And I've actually had some people who are quite skeptical, very, very sort of blinkered in a way. Certain people who are maybe perhaps engineers, that kind of mentality where they were like, yeah, I don't think stretching is going to work for me. How do I know for sure? And we created that connection of trust where they trusted me enough to take my advice, and then they tried it out for themselves. Essentially, what I want to do is give people the tools so that they make their own decisions to try it out for themselves. But also, thirdly, I always encourage my clients to speak up and say what they want and need. So one of the things I do in my very thorough client intake is to ask, have you had a massage in the past? What did you like? What didn't you like? Because that really gives me some useful information as to what I can do, or to what I might like to adjust. And I also always let them know, please speak up if something doesn't feel right. Of course, anybody who is worth their weight in gold as a massage therapist needs to be able to read the human body. And there's a lot of things. So for instance, if a stroke is too deep, you might see someone wriggle their feet, you might see them scratch their face up, you might see them shrug their shoulders. But the thing is, a lot of people are very afraid of offending you and saying that something doesn't feel right or that something hurt. And that's why I always say at the beginning, please speak up. But we're already at that point where I think they feel comfortable with me because of the intake. And I just try to be very real and very authentic. And I also have a background as a performer. I like to make people laugh. And so I think that really helps, because laughter is soothing for the soul, and laughter really makes people relax very fast.
You know what? You made so many great points, and a couple of them is one, the point of trust. I think as somebody who works with other people and who helps other people, trust them into their body, with their mind, with their spirit, right? They open up to you how you feel. It is very important for people to feel like, yes, they can open up to you, right? Because whether you're doing massage or whether I'm doing body work with people or mindset work, if people are closed and not open to it, they cannot have that same experience. So listening, you brought up listening. I think that's a huge skill that is required from us as wellness practitioners. And then also us being in tune with the other body, right? What are we observing in the body? Are we observing like a facial expression that's like they're cringing? And it's like, are you in pain? Is the movement that I'm teaching you not feeling good? Like, what are you experiencing in your body? I think those are very important things. And then the third one, it is so important to speak up if something doesn't feel right. I can't tell you, especially because of the messed up mentality that we have of, no, what is it? No gain. If no, there's no pain.
No pain, no gain.
No pain, no gain. Like, I'm like, this doesn't work in here. Like, take that somewhere else. But here, if you feel any kind of pain, I want to know, because that is your body giving us feedback for this. What I'm doing does not feel good for me. So stop and let's evaluate what is happening into your body. And I think, once again, you should not feel bad to tell somebody, this does not feel good into my body. This does not feel good for my soul, right? This is how this makes me feel. It is okay. And as somebody who is there to support you, to cheer you, right, to guide you, we're there open to work with you instead of to tell you what to do and make you feel like you don't understand, or that whatever, to make you feel smaller, right? Which is, you brought that up as well.
I think may I interject? I think
yeah,
a huge part of that is education. So I like to educate my clients from the outset. What is a deep tissue massage? Because a lot of people believe that deep tissue is synonymous with deep pressure. That is not true. Deep refers more to the location. So it's, as Ida Rolf says, the founder of Rolfing, it's not how deep you go, it's how you go deep. So a real deep tissue, you're actually going to have to work very slowly to give the body chance to absorb the pressure. And when people know what to expect and know how it should feel, so I let them know, there may be some discomfort. And I kind of make a joke about it. There may be some discomfort, and it should be such that you're feeling the relief, you're feeling things release, but it shouldn't be such that you want to punch me or you want to jump through the ceiling, and when I add that little bit of humor in, I think that makes them more relaxed and makes them it's something that they can relate to without talking in highfalutin academic language. I think we always need to talk to our clients and our patients in layman's terms, in language that they understand, and also to learn to listen to the words that they don't say. Sometimes I'm a highly sensitive person, as I know you are, and we're very good at hearing the things that people don't say by, hesitation, by tone of voice, by facial expressions, all of that. There's all this information is right there if you are only willing to perceive it. We're like medical detectives, essentially.
Yeah. And it's powerful. It is powerful. I will tell you, it's one thing for us to see it, right? Because we're intuitive to what we're looking for. But I think, Sarah, what's very empowering is when people get attuned to like, oh yeah, my back is tight. That does not feel good. I am not going to proceed living with that tight back. There is something that I can do, whether it's a stretch, whether it's get a massage, get some rolfing, whatever it is that I want to do, to know that my lifestyle and my state of being right now does not feel good. So what can I do about it? What are the tools that I have in my toolbox to help myself feel better? Versus, I think that's part of, we have normalized feeling crappy, and we have normalized that being, the status. And that is not okay. Like, you don't have to feel crappy. Just because you're a certain age does not automatically mean your back, your neck, or whatever is going to hurt, right? You can be vital and healthy and youthful no matter your age. Hey, Rebels. I want to take a quick moment to share something super exciting with you. If you've been feeling stuck, disconnected, or just know there is more to life than what you're experiencing, I have something special for you. I have created a powerful 6-step video series called Unleash Your Potential, an introduction to the Angelova Method. As a valued Mind-Body podcast listener, the series is my gift to you. In this series, I will guide you through the core elements of the Angelova Method, a unique approach that integrates movement, mindset, and mastery to help you align your body, mind, and life. You will learn practical techniques to improve your alignment, boost your core strength, and connect deeply to your inner self. Whether you're looking to enhance your physical health, gain mental clarity, or simply live more fully, these videos are designed to get you started on the path to your most vibrant self. And the best part? It's completely free. So if you're ready to break through barriers and unleash your full potential, head over to mindbodyexpert.com and get started today. Let's take this journey together, because you, my rebel, deserve nothing less than the extraordinary.
Well, it's what we talked about. I know we talked about this earlier when I last saw you. We talked about the difference of conventional medicine versus integrative or functional medicine. Functional medicine, if you do labs, first of all, it doesn't just look at the labs. It looks at the whole person and how they're feeling, and it looks at the root cause. But it also wants the labs to be in a functional, optimal range. And it seems like conventional medicine, as long as you were in range. And the other thing, what you mentioned about aging, that's something that really irks me personally. I'm 46. I'm going through perimenopause. I know a lot of women out there can relate to
47 right here, girlfriend.
Yay. And I have a wonderful, absolutely wonderful holistic OBGYN. Her name is Georgiana Wiley, and she's in Savannah. She runs Rebirth Savannah. She's also a herbalist. She's been a godsend to me, a lifesaver, because she put me on progesterone, and she also put me on a little bit of thyroid again, and various herbs. My point being is I knew what was going on with me because of my background in hormone imbalances. So I was able to ask, and I also luckily had access to someone whom I could afford to help me. But a lot of women, I know tons and tons of women who are going through perimenopause or menopause, and the doctors are like, oh yeah, this is just aging. Or I've even known doctors, and this was with thyroid patients, they would say things like, well, that's fork in mouth disease. I even had a doctor yell at me at the top of his voice that I was just fat. And I was crying my eyes out, and the receptionist had to console me. Like, I don't understand why people like that are in medicine. And I think it makes me even more passionate about not only making sure that we take good care of our clients and our patients, but also, referring people to people like, my holistic OBGYN, so that they can get the help they want, need, and deserve. Because just because we're women and just because we're of a certain age doesn't mean we should not age gracefully, because we definitely and absolutely can.
I agree with you. And, I do have to say, I have addressed the question of, if somebody is going through this and this, why would the physician, let's say, not refer them to me, like if there is a potential surgery? And the big word that keeps coming up is liability. And it is sad, but I think that's part of our reality, which I think that goes back to what we talked about earlier, that is empowering ourselves to take radical ownership of our well-being, right? So if we're told one thing, listen, medical physicians, they follow a very different protocol in the way they're educated. I just have a client who is a nurse. Her husband is a physician, and I suggested to them something alternative, and I could tell the husband is not comfortable. And I said, let me give you some reading so that you can see there is a science behind this, right? It's not this woo thing that I'm doing. Because once again, I read the body language, right? And I could tell there was discomfort behind what I was suggesting. And she made a comment. She said, it's really sad that we're not educated as medical professionals. We're not educated in those alternative therapies that are out there that help the body heal. And I think that's just the reality of where we are today. But going back to patients, clients, guys, you own where you are. Don't be afraid to speak up. If you're told something, if you're put on medicine or given a cream or whatever it is, and you're like, okay, I'm taking that pill, but I still feel like crap. My energy is down. If your body is giving you that feedback, something is off. Now,
for a reason,
go through the baseline, to the basic pillars of health. Do you sleep enough? Are you hydrated? Do you eat well? Are you moving enough, right? Those are like, what is your exposure to environmental toxins?
Are you getting the mental health support?
Mental health, yes.
Do you have your drive? Do you have good connections with those people around you?
Yes, and those are baseline things, right? And if you have all of those things and you still feel like shit, then ask and insist and look for alternative ways, right? There's nothing wrong. I sometimes work with patients who are complicated cases. There's nothing wrong with going and asking a colleague or referring that person to somebody else to say, what do you think? Because guess what? This is not about me. This is about the patient, the client, right? But also as a patient and as a person, don't be afraid to ask for answers. Don't be afraid to ask the follow-up questions if you're not sure of what's going on. And I also guarantee you that when you start searching the right people, like Sarah, you mentioned you found a great, more functional-based gynecologist, right? You found the right person who can support you.
Yes, I was actually going to mention, one thing that I always taught the patients that I was working with when I did patient advocacy is don't be afraid to change doctors. You know, you can only advocate to yourself up to a point, because some doctors, they just will not listen. And you're absolutely right. You do have the right to ask questions. You have a right to copies of your labs, and you have the right to be treated respectfully like a human being without being talked down to as if you're a toddler, because too many doctors do that and it's not acceptable.
Yeah. But take ownership of your well-being, you know, whether it's through the stuff that I do through movement and mindset, whether it's through the stuff that Sarah does, whether it's through there is so much out there if you just start looking for it. So just don't give up, but do not accept that you should feel like crap just because, you know, just because of the number that's on your birth certificate, right? Sarah, what piece of advice do you have for our listeners?
Oh God. What we were talking, I mean, I have many pieces of advice I have learned over the years. Don't settle. Don't ever settle. If something, so I recently moved to Atlanta, and the reason I moved to Atlanta, there's this little saying in it, and it goes as follows: we bloom where we are planted. I think I brought this up with you before. It's not true. I don't believe it. There are places, there are situations, there are relationships, there are jobs where we simply cannot bloom, no matter how hard we try. We can do everything possible and we're still not blooming. And a lot of people, they go their whole lives and they settle because it's easier to stay in a familiar situation than being brave and going out there and changing our situation, which you have the power to do. Like, we're so privileged that we have the power here where we're at. We have the power to make choices and to make the right choices for us. And intuitively, I think we know what we need. Sometimes we also know what we need by figuring out what we don't want.
No need. Yeah.
So yes, don't settle and be brave, because in the end, it's almost always worth it.
Yeah, I would say it's almost worth it. It might get bumpy. It probably will get bumpy, but that's okay. That's okay. I was just talking about that with a client yesterday, and we were, you know, I was asking her some questions, and you could just see the light bulbs were coming on with like, oh my gosh, I'm doing all of this stuff because this stuff, my actions are making other people happy. But the actions that I'm taking are not filling my cup, are not fulfilling me, are not re-energizing me. And we're kind of taught to live that way. We're not taught to live courageously. And if we can't bloom, just say, you know what, let's change the soil. We just keep like bumping our head against the soil and it's going, no, can't happen here. So it's okay to say, let's make a change. It's okay to say, you know what, this might get rocky, but it's okay. It will be worthwhile.
One thing that I have often told people, you know, what you just brought up about people pleasing, about wanting to please everybody else and do what society expects of us. Well, it's all very well to people please, but if at the end of the day you're not pleasing yourself, you know, what good is that? Because eventually what I find, one thing that's very important that I have found throughout my life is if I'm in a situation where it's no longer working and I need to get out, resentment builds. And I don't think that I tend to be a resentful person, but if I'm feeling out of character, or if I'm feeling resentful, that's a sign that I need to listen to. So listen to the signs in your body, listen to how you're feeling, to your emotions, how your body's feeling. You know, the body keeps the score, because they're there to they're trailblazers to point the way forward.
Yeah. And that's a perfect time to ask you, what is your definition of rebellious?
Oh God, I thought about this one and now I'm...
on the spot.
I think just doing what you know to be right, no matter what those around you might be whispering in your ear, having the courage of your convictions, no matter what anybody else might think. Because a lot of times, you know, when we listen to our gut and our intuition, we will be pleasantly surprised. And what I also find is the more you listen to your intuition, the more your intuition will speak up, and the more you realize, oh wait, I have this great relationship with my intuition and I can actually trust him or her.
Yeah. And the more you follow the intuition, the more you take action that aligns with what your intuition is telling you, the louder that intuition comes. And honestly, your life changes in the most incredible way. Yeah, I love it. Sarah, your practice is Lime Green Lotus. You are in Brookhaven, Georgia. Tell people where can they follow you online, if they have questions, how they can reach out to you. What's the best place for people to connect with you?
Yeah, so my website is www.lime, like the fruit, green like the color, lotus like the flower.com. You will also find my phone number on my website. You can actually book through the website. There is a book now button. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Google, I'm on Yelp under Lime Green Lotus, and my phone number is 551-404-7994.
Love it. Sarah, thank you so much for your high energy and high vibes which you brought here today. Your passion is very obvious. And Rebels, you know the spiel. If you have any questions for Sarah, please do ask them. Do follow her on social media, get on her website, book an appointment. I have actually referred a couple of clients to Sarah already, and they have loved her. Actually, my family members have tried working with Sarah. I have. She is an awesome rebel. So do check her out. She has been, I will tell you, you know who I'm talking about, Sarah, my one client who has come to you. She said, you have made a tremendous difference in how her neck feels. So you know who I'm talking about. And she keeps talking about you every session that I see her. So thank you for that. And you rebels, stay rebellious. Do share this episode with anybody who can be empowered by what we talked about. Stay rebellious, and we will see you next time. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank you very much, everybody, and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you for joining us on the Mind Body Podcast, where we explore the power of living authentically and rebelliously. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow rebellious soul who would love to hear what we share as much as you do. Stay strong, stay calm, and most importantly, stay rebellious. Until next time, rebellious souls, keep living fully. Your journey is just beginning.